Okay, so for number 1, I'm going to go ahead and take care of the negative exponent first. I'm just going to go ahead and flip it. So I'm going to keep everything exactly how it is, and I'm going to flip it to the reciprocal. But then now my power of 3 is positive. Now what I can do is just apply the power of 3 to everything. I could also simplify the y's if you'd like as well. But if I just go ahead and, actually, I could go ahead and take care of the y's. I could do here, y to the negative 4 minus 2 is going to give me y to the negative 6. So I could go ahead and subtract that, and then I get 2x to the third, and then y to the negative 6 becomes a positive 6 when it's in the bottom. Now I'm going to apply the power of 3 to everything. 5 to the third power is 125. 2 to the third power is 8. And then remember, when you do power to a power, you're going to multiply. So this will become y to the 9th, and then 6 times 3, x to the 9th, and then y to, when you do power to the power here, y to the 18th. Now, if you would have preferred to multiply it, you could have, but just remember that negative exponent, I would flip the fraction. Okay, so here again, we have to rationalize, so we're going to multiply by the opposite expression. So I'm going to multiply by the square root of 15 plus 3 to both the numerator and the denominator. So I have to distribute here 2 to the square root of 15 and 2 to the 3. Now for the denominator, really all we have to do is first and then last. And then 15 minus 9, and I get 6. Now, when I go to simplify this, I can simplify all 3 pieces here that's outside of a radical. I can divide them all by 2. This becomes a 1, this becomes a 3, and this becomes a 3. I can't simplify this any further because I would have needed to be able to also do this one. And because I can't, I'm finished, and the final answer here is just the square root of 15 plus 3 over 3. So again, you're going to factor a GCF out first. And the GCF was 4x. After you divide, you end up with the difference of 2 perfect cubes. And then now what we need to do is factor that difference of 2 cubes. You cube root x to the third, cube root 125. The cube root of x to the third is x. Cube root of 125 is 5. Remember, same sign in that first binomial. Then in your trinomial, you square the x with next put an opposite sign, and then multiply the x and the 5, and then the last sign is always positive, and it's the 5 squared. So again, I'm looking for 2 numbers that will multiply to give me 36, a positive 36, and those 2 numbers are going to be negative 4 and negative 9, because that'll give me a positive 36, but when I add them, I do get the negative 13. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite the first term, replace the middle with the 2 terms that we just found. And now I need to make my groups. So my GCF of the blue group is going to be x squared. My GCF of red is going to be negative 9. And again, I've got the same thing after I divided. So that's my first binomial. And then I group the 2 GCFs I divided by. Now notice it is the difference of 2 squares on both, so we have to keep going. You can't stop here. So this will factor into x plus 2, x minus 2, and then the purple is x minus 3, and x plus 3. And you're done. Okay, so for number 5, really what we've got here are 4 different factoring problems. Once we factor each individual piece, then we'll look for things to simplify. So I'm going to factor the numerator here. It is the difference of two squares. So x minus 4, x plus 4. Then the trinomial in the denominator, I can go ahead and factor that one as well. This will factor in, it's a perfect square trinomial, so it's going to factor into x plus 4 and x plus 4. And then now the new numerator over here, I can factor out a GCF of x. And then for the denominator, I can also factor out a GCF of 3. And now I'm going to look for things to simplify. So I can simplify an x plus 4 with an x plus 4. And again, remember when you're simplifying, what's left behind is a 1. Then I can also simplify diagonally over here an x plus 4 with an x plus 4. And again, what's left behind is a 1. And then I can also grab an x minus 4 with an x minus 4. And again, leaving behind a 1. And now the only thing that remains is this x over 3. And you're done. Number 6, I'm going to go ahead and do the keep, flip, change first so I don't forget. So x to the third minus x squared, x minus 1 cubed. Change this to multiplication, flip this upside down. And now I'm going to begin my factoring process. So I'm going to go ahead and factor a GCF out at the top of this one. It's x squared. I'm going to go ahead and factor, I'm going to leave this one alone. I'm just going to leave that one alone and make it, I'm going to use it, but if you want, so you can see it a little bit better, you could expand it, but you could just leave it with an exponent of 3. And then the top over here, difference of two squares, x minus 1, x plus 1. And then the denominator, I'm going to pull out a GCF. Get another color here. So a GCF of x, so x plus 1. Okay, so now I'm going to look for things to simplify. So I can simplify an x minus 1. And again, what's left behind is a 1. I can simplify another x minus 1 over here with this one. And again, what you're leaving behind is a 1. Then I can do the x plus 1, this one and this one, and what's left behind is a 1. And now I can also simplify my x's. I can take away this power, and then over here is left a 1. So now the only thing that remains is this x over this x minus 1. And you're done. So for the last example, it's a subtraction. So we need to factor this denominator first because part of the common denominator is hiding in here. So I can factor this into x plus 2 and x minus 2. That is my LCD. So let me go ahead and rewrite this. So x minus 2 over x plus 2. And now with it factored, now what I need to do is add in this one. It's missing the x minus 2. Whatever you do to the bottom, do to the top. And remember, we're multiplying here. So I need to FOIL this top. This becomes x squared minus 2x plus 4. And then add the middles, and it's negative 4x. So this new numerator is x squared minus 4x plus 4 over x minus 2, x plus 2. And then this fraction was good. We didn't need to multiply it by anything. Now I just have to subtract my numerator. These are like terms, so I just do 4 minus 3. And my final answer is x squared minus 4x plus 1 over x plus 2 times x minus 2. And that is it for your Classkick. So if you want to keep this, just make sure you export it out of the Classkick app before you leave here. So a little nice review. The only thing that this review is lacking is the lesson we're going to learn on Monday, which are going to be complex fractions. So essentially what you're going to do is this could be the numerator of the fraction, and then you'll have a similar problem in the denominator. So you'll have to add or subtract the numerator, add or subtract the denominator. Once you get those answers, then we divide and just do a key flip change. So really we're going to combine everything into one single problem in lesson P5D.